watch the video. I'm very
The car
excited
is
about
controlled
this.
by an AI, which I trained to drive in a very iconic place. This is AO1, the very first level in Trackmania, the racing game.
Wait, so it's AO1 that it beat? But I thought AO1 was maxed.
For almost 2 decades, millions of
It has to, like, okay, we're not talking about nose bucking and stuff, right?
players have competed to set the fastest time on this iconic track. And it culminated 2 years ago when the player Eddie set his legendary world record. A great time.
Eddie!
But is that truly
Not to be confused with Eddie Rising, of course.
the limit? How close are we really to the perfect run? Well, these are the questions that made me train an AI to challenge AO1's world record. I've been working on this AI for years now, and recently, training it on AO1 simply started as a small experiment. Yet, this side project pulled me way deeper than I expected, eventually leading to a completely new discovery in this game.
Okay.
But to understand how we got there, we need to start at the beginning. As
New-
our
did he-
AI takes its
let me hear, because I think I heard wrong. New discovery?
Yet, this side project pulled me way deeper than I expected, eventually leading to a completely new discovery in this game.
What?
But to
SD?
understand how we got there, we need to start at the beginning, as our AI takes its very first steps on
Also, chat, can you quickly, is it right that when he says AI, he means machine learning, and it's not actually AI? Because I think there's a difference.
AO1. For now, the AI doesn't have any experience with the game, it's just picking actions at random, and naturally, it doesn't get very far.
Yep.
If we want it to improve, it's gonna need some kind of motivation.
Carrot. He's used carrot for every video, right?
For every action the AI takes, I'm gonna give it a reward. The faster it progresses along the track, the higher the reward.
Yeah, AI sounds
Its
better for
only
a
goal
title as
then
well.
is to accumulate the most rewards, which it learns through a process called reinforcement learning.
Okay.
Basically, the AI is gonna drive this track many times. With each attempt, it can try new things, learn from its mistakes, and gradually develop its own driving strategy through trial and error.
New
After a
clanker,
few
we can
hundred
say
attempts,
that.
we can already see it's made good progress. It's able to go further and see more of the track. In fact, this is what the AI really sees while driving. 20 times per second, it gets a few
So,
numbers.
I have a question. When he says the AI drives, he doesn't mean that he has to wait for one to do it and then another one and then another one. He has to, like, how does it work when you press start on the program? How does it work? Like, how fast does he have the game at like 1,000% speed and it just does it a bunch of times, or does he have a bunch of clients open?
Describing the state of the car and how it's positioned on the road.
But how can he train thousands at a time without having 1,000 games open?
At this point, the AI is only a few obstacles away from completing the track. With each new attempt, it's growing more
Because you'd assume that you would have to have all of the... It's got to be in-game, because how else does he have all of the ghosts or all of the replays to show in a video, right?
confident, getting closer than ever to the finish line. Until eventually, it manages to set its very first time on AO1.
42 seconds, let's go.
The first of many improvements.
Yeah, but Chad, he has all the replays. So it's not just, he's not just running an engine outside the game. It must be in-game that he's doing it, right?
After 3,000 attempts, the AI has reached a
See, that's the thing. He says after 3,000, how long does this take? How long do 3,000, are we talking 15 minutes or are we talking like 2 days?
level, roughly matching the target time set by the game's developers. But the interesting part really starts a few hours later, when the AI makes its first breakthrough in a key section of the track, the downhill.
The downhill.
As it approaches the jump line,
It's gonna do the wiggle?
AI suddenly decides to release the accelerator. Obviously, this makes it lose speed, but as a result, it lands earlier and thus can regain speed sooner. Now, it's carrying more speed through the rest of the truck, and slowly, it's catching up with its opponent. Until eventually, it manages to beat the developers at their own game.
Hey, let's go. Author time.
Over the next few hours, the AI refined its strategy further by jumping more and more diagonally.
Yep.
This way, it found it could preserve more speed in the jump, exiting the downhill much faster.
Let's go.
Actually, the AI pretty much rediscovered how most players drive this section, and already, it's getting close to my own level. It's still lacking a bit of precision, so I still have the upper hand, but that wouldn't last long, as the AI was just about to make its second major discovery.
Okay. Speed
We
slide?
are approaching the final corner, and the AI is slightly behind me, when suddenly it uses
S4D?
the brake. This
It
course
S4Ds?
makes it lose speed, but it also initiates a drift, which might have a purpose here. Because a
S4D,
few
dude.
seconds later, the AI is closing the gap. Until, for the first time, it's able to beat me on A1.
Nice.
And apparently, this drift was not just an accident. The AI is now doing it in every single attempt. What happened
That's
is
crazy.
that it rediscovered an advanced technique called the speed drift. In this game, when you build enough speed and drift at a very specific angle, it triggers a bug that makes the car accelerate faster.
It's not a bug, it's a
enough
feature.
to make the difference here. The AI just found the key to driving A01 like the very best players.
Yup.
And as a result, it's reaching the pace of the world's top 100 leaderboard. It's now just 2/10 away from beating one of the most prestigious records in this game. Let's see how far it can go with more training.
I mean, you'd assume that it becomes maxed, right? Oh, it made race hands. Damn. All the way up. Top 10. Top 8.
At this stage, the AI spent an equivalent of 400 hours on AO1, which, interestingly,
Oh, 400 hours simulated in 10 hours.
is
Okay.
comparable to the top players here. It's only 500 of the world record, driving almost the same lines as Eddie, except for one notable difference.
Oh, Eddie does an S4D
As you
there
can
as well?
see, Eddie chose to do an additional speed drift here. It makes him lose some ground at first, but with the extra speed, he quickly catches up to the AI, carrying a clear advantage into the final jump.
Yeah. Okay. I did not know you
The
could do
AI,
that.
however, keeps ignoring this drift, sticking with tighter lines instead. And it's actually still making progress, getting closer and closer attempts, eventually
Okay.
getting this run.
And now, Clanky got this run. Okay. I mean, is that a win?
A perfect
Boom, a
equal
tie.
to Eddie.
Okay.
The human record could fall at any moment now, as the AI eventually managed to equalize it again and again.
Is it gonna
However,
push?
the AI is still not doing the
100s,
second speed
come on.
drift, and because of that, I'm afraid it won't get any faster. It always gets caught by Eddie at the very end. Isn't it strange that the AI didn't find this speed drift? It knows the technique. But
Yeah, but
doing
it
it in
knows-
this corner is far more complex. At lower speeds, the drift angle needs to be controlled with extreme precision to actually save time. I mean,
Okay.
drifting here is so absurd that it was only discovered quite recently, 13 years after the game's release.
True.
At this point, I'm pretty sure the AI has reached a dead end.
Couldn't you
Which
force the
means
drift?
It's probably time to give it some help.
Yeah. Couldn't you say like higher speed gives more
From
carrot?
now on, whenever the AI
or something?
enters this section, I'm gonna give it extra rewards if it's drifting. Let's see if the AI adapts its strategy with more training.
More carrots, dude.
Okay, the AI clearly understood the rules changed.
Yep.
Now, it's attempting the new drift in every single run. It's still a bit messy. The AI is actually slower than before, but its technique is improving. Slowly, it's restarting its ascent up the leaderboard.
Okay. So you would assume that it's gonna beat world record here, right? Surely it must beat world record.
This time, the AI ended up on a whole different level.
Okay. So far so good. Get the SD. Get another SD. That's a really early start to the SD. Jesus. Holy, it's a car length ahead.
The AI did it.
That's crazy.
And it didn't simply beat the world record.
That's
It
better than the
completely
Taz as well.
crushed it, finishing 400ths of a second faster than any human on AO1. The AI far exceeded its goal of beating humans. So
Yep.
much, in fact, that I don't think it really makes sense to compare it to us anymore. It needs a different kind of opponent to compete with. A new target.
Oh? What is
The
this?
truth is, we've always known there is a gap between human records and the game's true limits. And in recent years, to explore that, a group of players collaborated to craft a theoretical ideal run on AO1, a
Okay.
tool-assisted speedrun.
Yeah,
or
okay, so the
TAS
task
for
is
short.
faster.
Using external tools, they set out to design a perfect sequence of actions, editing their runs frame by frame, analyzing them in detail, and even using software to test thousands of extra variations. Progressively, they combined their best segments across the track,
Okay.
and after several years of refinement, they finally came up with the absurd time of 23.66 seconds.
Jesus.
This run is probably the most precise and advanced ever made in Trackmania history.
That is
And
crazy.
when I say the goal of this video was to beat AO1's human record, I kinda lied. Instead, we're gonna dive much deeper into this game's limits, because my real end goal here is to beat this TAS.
But okay, but he's not gonna
Okay,
nose bug and
one
stuff like that,
small
right?
side note,
Because at that point,
If you're familiar enough
Yeah.
with this game, you may know that technically, this is still very far from the true limit on AO1. That there's another way faster TAS out there, which exploits a weird glitch to drive at the game's maximum speed. I actually trained my AI to use that bug last year, so I guess I could try that again here. But I won't. TASes like that are usually considered a separate category,
Yeah.
and for this video, I prefer to leave that aside and focus on the classic category. So, what exactly is the AI missing to beat the TAS here? It's not an easy question because overall, the two runs appear pretty similar. Yet, when we look more closely, we can see the AI gradually loses speed throughout the race,
okay.
particularly in the speed drifts.
Oh yeah, it loses a lot.
So clearly, there's already something the TAS is doing better here. And that doesn't really surprise me, because with the advent of tool-assisted runs,
It looks
the
identical.
subtle art of speed drifting has become a science. By studying the game's physics, some people were able to figure out the exact optimal angle to aim for at any given speed. This is basically the formula
Okay.
to get the most speed out of a drift. And with that, the creators of the TAS were able to achieve near-perfect speed drifts on AO1. Now, looking at the AI speed drifts, we can see it pretty much learned to aim for the
Oh, never mind.
optimal angle. However,
sorry, there's
it
a noise in
can't
the
hold
kitchen.
it as precisely as the TAS. It's possible the AI hasn't fully understood this mechanic, but I think it's facing a bigger issue here. Unlike the TAS, the AI can only update its actions 20 times per second, and only from a limited set of values. These restrictions are due
Why has he put these
to
restrictions
some
on?
technical limitations I haven't been able to overcome yet. I'll explain that somewhere else another time. But that's okay, because for now, I've prepared something better to help our AI. So basically, I've written a small program which automatically follows the optimal angle during a drift with extreme precision. Now, I'm gonna let the AI use this tool. The AI can still choose actions as usual, but whenever it wants, it can give up control to my program during a drift.
Oh, so it's just
auto
auto-drifting, okay.
Control. So I've retrained the AI from scratch so it can get used to this new ability. And it seems like the AI loves it. It's using auto-drift in every single run now.
Okay.
This time, it was able to get this new run.
Carrot, 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 carrot. But it's not starting to drift from wide enough, I guess. But it does have more speed.
23.72. The AI is getting closer.
More training. Come on, more
With
carrots.
better speed drift, the AI can build up more speed than before. And perhaps more interestingly, it also seems more consistent. It's getting good attempts more often. It can actually beat the human record about half the time.
Okay.
The problem is, it rarely gets very good attempts. Way too rarely, it seems, to get much closer to the task.
Yeah.
Is it normal that the AI can't approach its full potential more often? I think it's normal. At this insane level of precision, every section of the track has to be flawless. From pixel-perfect jumps, to risky turns, to parts where the game's physics itself seems inconsistent.
Yeah.
To reach its absolute best, the AI has to get all of these exactly right in a single run. And it seems pretty unlikely to ever happen. Unless we take some
given enough time, I
inspiration
guess.
from the task again. It's time to make the AI drive its first segmented run. So to start, I'm gonna let the AI drive just the first segment of the track many times. That is, up to here.
Okay.
Already, we can see that some attempts look slightly more promising. So I'm gonna keep only the one in the lead. That becomes the starting point for the second segment. And
Is the one in the lead automatically the one with the most exit speed as well?
AI is gonna drive many times from here, with a slight random steering change at the start of the segment, so each attempt plays out a bit differently. Now, we can repeat this across the next segments, to make sure the AI does its best on every part of the track.
Oh.
So
Whoops.
that was basically the theory behind a segmented run. Now in practice, I had to deal with a lot more details to make this work. Too many to cover in this video.
Dude, it looks very
But if
trippy.
you're curious about the technical stuff, I'm gonna share that on my Patreon. That's where I usually post extra videos and behind the scenes stuff I can't fit in here. There's a link in the description if you want to check it out.
That's nice. There's also a link to the video
after
in
a few days of
the
research,
chat.
I think I've pretty much reached the full potential of my AI with this segmented run.
Okay. Let's see it. So I'm just gonna compare it to the task, I guess. I mean, we also see the previous one, the previous regular run. It's still behind the task immediately. So it still needs a lot. It is quite quick though. 0.70.
400 to go. Actually, that's still a long way off. I'm starting to wonder if there's even a real chance to beat the task. The more I watch the AI drive, the more I notice small details it does differently than the task. It just can't seem to match the creativity behind those subtle strategies. To fix that, I tried rewarding the AI for following the task path.
Oh, okay.
But the results were quite disappointing. Anyway, I think there's just too much advanced stuff going on in this run. I mean, in this video, I've only presented the tip of the iceberg of AO1 speedrunning, but during my research, I've realized that the knowledge behind this track goes way deeper. I've barely mentioned the uphill, which might be the most complex part of the track. Also, apparently, there's a
Small
some
SD.
speed drift here.
Yep.
And even if the AI managed to replicate all of that, it would probably just match the task anyway. The only certain way to beat it would be to come up with something new, but at this point, there's probably nothing more to learn about AO1, right?
Or?
Well, for the past few years, there's been a myth around this track. Speculations about a new strategy that could revolutionize AO1. A strategy that was only theorized. As you may have noticed, when a car crosses these blue borders, it can sometimes trigger a bug which makes the car jump. A blue bug. And some players have been wondering if this could be exploited somewhere, in a spot where a jump is needed, like the down here.
Oh!
It turns out even the TAS has a weakness here. When you reach the jump line, you're going too fast, so you have to slow down to land correctly afterwards.
Can it bug you like a nose
if
down?
Somehow we could get a blue bug here, the car could start the jump earlier, so there'd be no need to slow down anymore, and we'd carry way more speed through the downhill. This is the myth of the blue bug, an idea that's been extensively discussed in the TAS community, with players sharing their experiments and thoughts, comparing every blue bug they could find. But after countless attempts to make it appear here, it led to nothing, and the idea was mostly abandoned. Still, a few people kept believing in this absurd idea. Among them, a player named Glitched. Over the years, Glitch never stopped bringing up the blue bug, even making several videos about it.
Okay.
And when I stumbled across all this during my research, his obsession was contagious. I started to believe myself that the blue bug might be my last hope to beat the TAS.
Not gonna lie, can we just talk about how well edited this is? This is so nice to watch. It's like watching like a crime documentary.
Now, we're diving into the weird side of this game. A territory where logic gives way to randomness, and where I feel the AI can't help anymore. That's okay, it's done everything it could. To beat the TAS, I'll have to make one myself. To begin, I've driven a first run up to the blue border, and it didn't result in any jump, obviously. The bug we are looking for happens somewhat randomly, and with the actions I used here, I just didn't get lucky. So that's where the task process begins. I'm gonna take these actions, make small random changes, and replay them. This way, I'll get a slightly different outcome, maybe a better one. In fact, if I repeat this many times, I might eventually get the blue bug if I'm lucky. To detect one, I'm tracking the car's height in each attempt, as long as it doesn't hit any wall. Then, we just watch, and hope one attempt goes higher than the rest. This is the brute force method, the most popular tool in Trackmania task making. But here, even after many iterations, brute force never found any jump. Like everyone who tried before me. But I still have hope. Maybe we're approaching the spot the wrong way. Maybe the blue bug only occurs with a different angle, speed, or whatever. In fact, my idea is to drive many different base runs, all reaching this spot with various approaches. And then, I'm gonna brute force each one.
Okay. How long does this take?
After setting up this experiment, I stepped away from the computer to let brute force do its job. And that night, something completely unexpected happened.
Is this
the
not
luckiest of accidents?
Copyrighted music?
The next morning, when scanning the result, I found that brute force couldn't get any blue bugs out of my runs. But for one of them, it found a jump somewhere else.
Oh? Hello? On a block transition. Of course it's on a block transition. Or right on the block transition.
This wasn't a blue bug. it was something else, something I'd never heard of before. To get a better look, I zoomed in where this bump occurred, and then I saw it, on Trackmania's most famous track. Something nobody had ever noticed, right in the middle of the road, a hole. For some reason, the game's developers misaligned two road pieces here, leaving a gap that caused this little bump. Okay, let's forget the blue bug. Can we jump from here instead? Can we get a big enough jump to defeat the task once and for all? For that, we need to brute force more. I'm gonna continue from the run that contains the jump, but now, every time brute force finds a higher jump, I'll save the corresponding actions, and brute force will continue its search from this new baseline, until it finds something even better. So if we're lucky, we should progressively get higher and higher jumps.
Banger, dude. Oh, it might nose down.
This
Boom.
is getting interesting. With these nonsense actions, brute force somehow managed to lift the car all the way to the jump line. Just what we needed. From there, I tried to drive the rest myself, testing different approaches. And of course, I combined that with more brute force. Until, after hours of experimentation, it finally happened. I managed to exit the downhill with more speed than the other tasks. The plan was working. Over the next days, I redid everything from scratch, with a better start, other improvements and more brute force. Eventually, I came up with this.
Oh my god!
Now, it couldn't be more clear. We are faster and ahead of the other tasks. It's happening. We still need to finish the run though, and for that, I think there's no better way than calling our AI back.
That's crazy.
From here, I'm just gonna let the AI drive the rest and see if it can keep the lead until the end. And after a few dozen attempts, the AI finally got its revenge, bringing the last piece of this run.
Nice. That is crazy. Of course it's some sort of edge bug between two blocks. It's like car length ahead, by the way. Honestly, it should extend its lead because it already had more speed.
That's it. We did it. We've just set a new limit on AO1. And the best part is, that was only the beginning. About 6 months ago, I shared my discovery with the Trackmania task community. It was the biggest twist in the Bluebug story so far.
Okay.
And it didn't take long for them to realize my task could still be pushed even further.
Yeah, for sure.
In the following days, a new team formed to push the new strategy further. They started over once again, combining the new trick with all the other techniques known on AO1.
Let's see the
and
perfect
after 2
pass,
months
dude.
of work, they came up with this masterpiece.
Yeah. Broken. Oh, that is so fast. It's like 0.15 or something. 0.18.
So, have we finally hit the true limit?
That's crazy.
I guess only time will tell. But like any record in Trackmania, I'm pretty sure it won't last forever. In fact, the visual you're seeing right now is already outdated. During the making of this video, the human record on AO1 was actually beaten by the player Rollin. As for the AI, that doesn't change the big picture. It's still ahead of humans in precision, but definitely not in creativity. At least that was for AO1. And now one question still remains. Would we get the same results on other tracks?
Oh,
Well,
wait.
we might find out soon.
Oh, I thought the video
because
was
the
done.
AI is currently training on the rest of the campaign. It's preparing to compete with humans on more complex maps, tracks that demand a wide range of skills, shortcuts, and sometimes unthinkable strategies to reach the highest level. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel to see how that goes.
Yeah, guys, go do that.
Wait, it looks like the AI is still not done with A1. Did it find a new strategy? Okay, apparently it's following a certain direction.
What?
Does it have something to show us? Yeah, I think I get it. It's saying thank you to everyone who supports this channel on Patreon.
Nice.
These videos take ages to make, and your support is an important part of what makes them possible. So if you've enjoyed this one and feel like it's worth a small reward, you can support me on Patreon for a few dollars a month.
Oh man, that's crazy.
In return, I regularly post updates and extra content there, like these bonus clips I couldn't fit in the main video. Again, thank you so much for your support, and hopefully I'll see you soon for the next step.
Okay, man, that was a really good video. God damn, that was a good video. You should all go subscribe. I'll put a link everywhere.